Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the lair of Filmaru. Tonight, at the request of IzzyBoy, I will be reviewing K-On! A fresh high school year always means much to come, and one of those things is joining a club. Being in a dilemma about which club to join, Yui Harasawa stumbles upon and applies for the light music club, which she misinterprets to be about playing simple instruments such as castanets. Unable to play an instrument, she decides to visit to apologize and quit. Meanwhile, the light music club faces disbandment due to a lack of members. This causes the club members to offer anything from food to slacking off during club time in order to convince Yui to join. Despite their efforts, Yui insists on leaving due to her lack of musical experience. As a last resort, they play a piece for Yui, which sparks her fiery passion and finally convinces her to join the club. I definitely have to thank IzzyBoy for this because he was right. Based on his inference of me liking Fuka and Zombieland Saga, I actually really enjoyed this show. It's not as band heavy as the other shows were. It's not fully focused on the music, or it's not just about romance or heavy topics like depression or anything heavy like that. Instead, this is a very fun show. It based most of its activities on different jokes that the writers come up with, like Yui's love of slacking off and cake. There was a small gag during one of the episodes where Yui describes her winter and summer activities as being, during the winter she'll lay under the kotatsu and enjoy the heat, where during the summer she'll lay on the ground and to enjoy the cold floor. The show also heavily takes place in the club room. I mean, there were moments where we see them going to this live performance that they have to go play for at a club to get their name out there. They also go to a Coachella-esque concert. For the movie, they go to London, which was pretty cool. This is more of a show about the friendship that the five girls have and how they're coming together to create this band and to save this club. I gotta say, it does take the fun aspect from Fuka and the band aspect and turns it up to at least 100%. It's just a really fun show to watch, and I've been wanting to watch it for a long time because I always heard good things. I've always seen good things. I've seen all the memes. I also love how the teacher is constantly trying to get her students to wear costumes during their performances, or just costumes in general. I mean, just to advertise the light music club during the club fair, they dressed up in animal costumes, and that's how they got Asunya to join them, because they were just so goofy in those outfits, and it's just hilarious. I also love the many performances they have. It feels like you're watching an actual band as they're coming up with new songs. They're playing at festivals. They're playing during the movie. They played for a sushi restaurant in London. I love the play episode where they had two of the main characters, Mio and I think her name is Rukia, and they had to play Romeo and Juliet, and it's just hilarious. Also, I love how how one of them, Mio, after she, the first performance that they have where she accidentally, falls and flips her skirt, she gains a fan club of these girls, and it's just, the club has a backstory Honestly, this entire show does that. I mean, Ritsu. Ritsu was the name, not Rukia. I love how every moment has a backstory, and I also really love the moments where we get to see their childhood. Like, Yui and her sister are just like complete opposites. Like, Yui is the slacker, fun-loving older sister, where her younger sister, Ui, is she's the responsible younger sister, and it plays on this dynamic a lot during the show, like how Ui has to constantly come and save Yui. It's just a really fun sisters relationship, and we also get to meet, for a very brief time, Ritsu's younger brother, who appears like, I think 5 times during the show. We also have Samugi, who has a butler that we hear for like 1 episode, just as a gag to confirm that she is rich as hell, and she goes on these extravagant vacations during the show that we never really get to see. Also, her outfit in the movie is really adorable. Like, she looks like one of those heiresses when they're going on a winter vacation. She's also the ditzy, clueless member of the band, and she only joined because they begged her. She was actually supposed to join the choir club. Mio is a scaredy cat, bass player and singer who has known Ritsu since preschool, and she's constantly trying to scare her. It's just like it's very similar to the Yui sister relationship, where these two are pretty much like sisters, where one has to watch after the other, while the other is very much like Yui, a slacker, and she's the head of the light music club, and she's just constantly fooling around, while Mio is trying to keep everything together, trying to recover constantly from the pranks that Ritsu plays on her. She's also the most level-headed and the best student in the school. We also have Tonchan, the pig-nosed tortoise, who is the pet / member of the light music club, after the group buys him from the pet store after they gained money from a guitar that the advisor let them sell. We also have Nodoka, Yui's friend, who's constantly looking after her since preschool and is the student council president, and constantly has to make up for like Ritsu and Yui's mistakes with the club, whether it's not filling out the paperwork for a school festival, or not signing out an auditorium for a performance. We also have one of my favorite characters in this show, and one of the funniest characters, Miss Sawako Yamanaka, but let's just call her Miss Yamanaka because I'm not saying that first name again, but Miss Yamanaka is hilarious. Like I said, she's constantly trying to dress up her students in these goofy or sexy or embarrassing costumes that while also trying to constantly get Mio into these weird costumes, and she's actually the reason why we have Asunya, because she put a pair of cat ears on her head, and it turns out she was also one of the original members of the Light Music Club, with her band, Devil Drop, and she's a badass in the show. Like, while she wants everyone to forget her past and she wants to leave behind her bad girl persona from high school because it was only so she could get a guy to like her, her persona was awesome, and I love every time it would appear and show up, and it's just really cool. And she honestly, next to Yui and Tonchan, has to be one of my favorite characters in this series because of how much she helps her students, and how much she looks after them while also constantly messing with them and slacking off. If it wasn't for her, we might not have had the Light Music Club. While she's supposed to be like a background character, but also more of a side character, she does play a heavy part in this, and she is very much so a main character, just like the rest of the characters in this series. Again, the music is also really good. Like, Rice as a Side Dish honestly has to be one of my favorite songs written by Yui. I also like Fua Fua Time, and I really liked the final song that they made for Asunya during the movie, and just, the series is really good. The only complaint I have is it was really long. Like, I know I constantly complain that some series don't get enough recognition or they don't get to ever finish the story. I really think this series should have been made into like three seasons. I mean, like, it should have been split into season 1 should have been, well, season 1 was 12 episodes, which was perfect, and then for season 2 they decided to make the second season 26 episodes, which honestly felt way too long. And I know they're trying to turn this into like the story of their junior and senior years. I really think they should have split it up between freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years. That way, most people might not feel as burnt out because the second season is a lot longer than the first season by a long shot. And that's why it took me like 2 weeks to finish this series, because going into the second season, like right at season 2 episode 8, I had to take a break just to come back and finish this, just so I could be able to do the review for this week, because it literally took me the past 3 days to get through season 2 and the movie, plus the 2 specials that they had with the live show that they did at the club, plus the special about the girls planning to go to London and planning their trips. It's just, it should have been split up a bit more. Other than that, this was a really good show, and again, I love the characters. I love the many gags that happen in this show. I know I didn't mention all of them because it would, if I tried to, it would be here all week or all night, and honestly, right now I'm getting a bit tired while I'm recording this. But yeah, this show, while it's not exactly the kind of band anime I really like. I do have to admit, the comedy is brilliant and the story is awesome. This show has some really good episodes, and yes, I will admit there are some filler episodes during this. Uh, it's definitely well worth it, and I also love the structure where during the first season, they had like two short stories working along each other. I mean, they still had the continuity, but uh, I like the little transition where it's a cassette tape with side A and side B showing us which story we're watching, and it explains to us that there's two stories going on, two plots going on during each episode. So yeah, I definitely gotta say, Kyoto Ani, or Kyoto Animation, did a really good job on this, and the story definitely wrapped up perfectly with the movie and the end performance for Asunya from the Light Music Club, and just I wish I could see more series that would actually end their story this perfectly. Like, this show did like I said, 2 seasons, a movie, and like 3 specials, and throughout that they just did this story perfectly. I just love how this focused on the lore, the comedy, and it focused on building the friendship between the 5 girls, plus everyone else around them. Also, I really like the Occult Club with their joking attitude towards Yui during the movie, asking her to find the Loch Ness Monster in London, and Yui actually believes this, and it's just one of the best gags of the movie. So I'm definitely gonna give this a 9, because, like I said, I didn't really like the structure that they had with making the second season way too long, instead of splitting it into 3 seasons. But other than that, this is a really good story, and I definitely might come back to watch this again, because it's just really fun, and it adds the elements of Zombieland Saga and Fuka perfectly, while also kind of getting rid of the heartbreaking moments and the darker moments of Fuka and the other anime that we've done so far. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little notification bell for more of our content, and have a great night and enjoy your cake.